Hey, Doc.
Hey, is Stubble all right? He's not picking up.
Yeah, he's fine. I'm with him right now.
Okay. Is he
He
coming to
just
Mr.
got out of
Mo?
ICU. He's catching up with the commissioner.
Okay. All right. Where you at? I'll come down.
Down at LSIA Greenwich Parkway.
Okay. Tell him I'll be down in a minute.
Sounds good.
All right. Thanks, Fury. All right. He's with the commissioner. He's with Fury. I'm gonna go down. I don't want to miss out on any critical pieces of
trust me.
information.
You need to, yeah.
So.
I'm gonna go to bed, but I just wanted to let you know that Matt does not want to talk about any of this. He doesn't want to hear about the war. He doesn't want to hear about the fallout. He has put on blinders for his own,
Yeah.
I guess, sake.
I don't blame him.
He doesn't have the spoons for it, so. But I don't know what he's going through that has him in that mental state. But I don't know. I'm just trying to be there.
The more we can keep him out of this, the better. I'll be honest. Unless he hears about it.
That's what, when I met with him, it was just basically to let him know that you were alive.
Okay. All right. Yeah, well, you get some rest.
Please.
I'll be right.
I know you say that, but please don't overdo. Make sure you eat.
I will. All right. Thank you, Edsa. Have you too. How do we want to go into this? Because there's been some accusation. Thank you. Throwing Axel's way. Full speed and hit Axel. Good idea. Nice of Axel to invite Dark to this conversation. So I guess we're in the job of inviting ourselves. Because I guess that's what we need for good PD communication, you know?
Now there's a lot of people just trying to understand what the fuck's going on. Obviously, the press release has been given out.
Yeah, I'm reading through that now.
Hey, everybody.
Howdy, Dark.
Hey, Dark.
Hey.
You all right, Dark?
No.
What's wrong?
Hold on. Let me get the list. So should I read the list? Actually, Stubble, do you want to? You know what, Stubble? I reckon you might enjoy a nice cup of tea, and maybe you should just go home and rest today. Just like just.
I don't know, Doc. There's a whole fucking shitstorm of stuff apparently that I missed. Oh.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get up to speed. I've rested the last week.
Fury, can you give us a second?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
What's the list? Start.
So this is just what I've heard today. None of this is concrete. I don't know whether all of this is true or what. This is just stuff that.
Well, start from the most important to the least important.
Oh God. Most important would probably be reports that a bomb was given to an EMS to go blow up the remaining Sanguine defenders
Yeah.
during peace talks.
Yeah, that's the center of the problem.
What does that mean?
That means he came up with the plan for that. That was his order.
What's your opinion on the plan?
Absolutely terrible idea. We were not that desperate to do something like that.
I mean, it's fucking insane. Like the more I'm thinking about it, I know we're not a military, and the Geneva Convention. You can have your opinions if we, this fucking hill. If we follow it or not, and you can say, hey, war crimes, non-war crimes, but I still feel like there's a line, right? Like, why did we pick a hill?
Let me help you.
Because there's like different levels to war crimes. You've got using a flamethrower,
It's just
that's one thing. And then
Yeah.
you've got putting a bomb on a medic and sending them in to blow everyone up. It's fucking insanity.
It is. I wish I was included in the conversation, but I wasn't.
Who was?
It was him and the director.
Right. Okay.
Oh, now it's over. I'm giving Brian 10 strike points, by the way, for what
You
he
don't gotta
did
worry
in
about
that.
He's suspended to the
fucking
panel,
one.
so yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
he's
still
suspended
giving
to
him
the
10.
I mean, yeah, just give it on top up.
Well, that puts him at 30. He's getting a 24-hour suspension. So
He's indefinitely suspended right now to the panel.
okay.
Great. So that's point number one. I guess I'll try and do this in most importance, but it might be difficult. Oh, the senator. Okay. I'm not doing this in importance. It's too difficult because they're all fucking crazy.
That's fine,
The
that's fine.
senator shot Kyle Pred unarmed at the prison yesterday. It's been documented and witnessed.
Mhm.
Okay, that's another one. Brian.
That one I don't know what to do with because in the legislation it says the Senate is the law. If I would have shot him down, I would have just broke the law and just been cited for attempted murder. So I don't know what to do when I see something like that. I'll be honest.
I think this is the problem. This is part of the problem. But I'll carry on. I'll carry on. Apparently, Brian used the equipment that they found on Sanguine to build a bomb, and subsequently blow up either the mansion or the island. I'm not quite
Oh,
sure
like
on the
that.
extent
That
on
was
that.
Senate order. As far as I've been told, the Senate told him to do that to level the whole entire place.
How bad's the damage? Can I get a boat and go over there, or is that place like a fucking wasteland?
It's probably radioactive. I wouldn't even get near it, honestly. I'd be
He made a
hazard.
dirty
hazmat
bomb.
So that's a big fucking problem if there's radiation, because all it takes is a fucking northern wind, and San Andreas is fucked.
Like I said, I don't know. We gotta go there and diagnose it, but I wouldn't even get close. How many bombs went off?
Moosebeard was inside of that place. That was his last known 20, as far as I'm aware. We were
We tried
going in
looking for
because him and Brick, they were in
recovered
that
Brick.
villa.
Yeah, we recovered Brick. Moosebeard, I looked everywhere. I even looked in the tunnels. I looked at the bottom of the villa by the valley. I tried to remember where I saw his GPS. Nothing. I couldn't find him.
Shit show.
Apparently, Walter Christmas was dressed up as an EMS using Class 2 weapons, and
Yep.
then
Yep.
on radio stated that he was sniffing cocaine.
Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
the senator said, whatever you do on the island stays on the island kind of thing when it comes to these kind of things. And Walter took it literally and started doing drugs.
Okay. And then I spoke to Toretti, who said that Christmas should be fired. And Toretti said that you and the senator disagreed and said that you should give him a medal.
I don't think Walter should be fired because even though he false flagged, his efforts during combat saved so many lives. And I saw it, I witnessed it. If he was not there, we all would have died. And that's my reasoning behind it. I might be biased in how I see it because I was right there with them versus other people. And I know his actions not only indirectly caused harm to the EMS on the island, but even after the war.
Okay. I'm going to question your logic here. So, Sanguine ended up killing 3 police officers. If Brian had made that dirty bomb before we went to the island and then dropped a bomb on that island and killed 50 people, you'd say the same thing.
I'm not following your logic. What do you mean by that exactly?
I mean, the ends justify the means is what you're saying.
No, but how did he make the bomb? The bench was there, Dark.
No. Ignore the bench. Okay, let's say someone dropped a nuclear bomb on the island. Instead of us going there, they just dropped a nuclear bomb and just killed everybody. That would be okay because they saved a bunch of people's lives because 3 police officers didn't die.
But I mean, isn't that comparing something on a larger scale? How does that relate to what Walter did?
Because Walter, like you said, he's getting EMS attacked. Like he's literally causing EMS to be attacked and possibly die.
Right, but from my perspective, when I saw it, is EMS was being attacked before Walter showed up in the EMS uniform, and they attacked the triage point with rockets. So, in that moment when I was fighting with him, that's why I thought he was trying to sneak through the enemy line to try to help us and flank the combatants and take them out. But what I'm trying to say is what I saw as the efforts in front of me, as far as the battle that transpired. I'm coming from a biased perspective, right? I know that because I was right there with him. But I'm telling you my perspective, what I saw, that if he was not there and made that difference, I would be dead. And so was 30 other cops.
Okay, so we can give him a medal. Sure, give him a medal for bravery. That doesn't mean we have to keep him employed as a police officer. I can't willingly say that I can trust Walter Christmas to behave like a proper conventional police officer when he willingly puts EMS lives at risk by dressing up as him. And then sniffing cocaine.
So fire him for being unfit for the PD, do his mental state. There you go. We'll have a panel with Walter. Y'all can say your opinions as far as what happened, and then we can just do it that way. I'm good with it. I want to make sure
Sorry.
I want to make sure this process is done fairly. That's all. I'm not coming from a biased perspective, but also I'm giving everybody else in the room an equal vote in what should happen next.
That makes sense. So why? I thought that's what Toretti's problem was that, you know, the senator and yourself were saying that he wasn't going to be fired.
That was what the senator was talking about. I didn't say anything as far as what Walter. I was talking about the medal. I was telling Toretti about the medal because Toretti was getting upset about the medal. And I said, Toretti, if that's how you want to do it, let's have the panel. You make your vote. I make my vote. High Command makes her vote. And then we'll decide the fate of Walter. But he wanted it to happen so fast. I said to him, have you even talked to the guy? I haven't. Have you heard his perspective before deciding to fire somebody? I haven't. And that's why I was against it. Because at least talk to the guy first.
Okay, I agree with you. All right. You know, maybe Toretti's just, you know, before actually we didn't really have these panels often. It was normally just trusted that,
I was
you know.
just thinking, does Owen want him fired? Because, I mean, It would
mean,
be between me and Owen as the undersheriff and sheriff.
And if y'all want to do that, that's fine by me. I got no problem with that. If that's how y'all want to proceed, I got no problem with it. I'm just giving the avenue for other members of High Command to help out so they don't feel like they have to deal with this problem on their own. I'm trying to make sure that we have enough people around that if you do need help with this, we can help you. If not, handle it within the department.
I haven't got to this one yet. Okay. All right. I'll move on a little bit. The next one was that during the whole bomb situation, when Brian and the senator were discussing their plan to send an EMS with the bomb, Bison overheard and spoke out against it, to which Brian pulled a gun on him and
Jesus
threatened
fucking
him.
Christ.
And
Yeah, I mean, we got to talk to Brian about that, right?
yeah. Additionally, that seems to add up with the rough statements from the EMS, Veronica Mars as well.
Yeah, when the senator and Toretto were going at it, he mentioned that the EMS volunteered to do this, and he even told her that she might not come back for this, and she was so okay with it. So I'm not sure. I feel like I'm getting conflicting stories here.
Yeah, I think there's some stuff to get to the bottom of. But apparently she volunteered after she had witnessed Brian pull a gun on someone speaking out against it. So whether or not that was a real willingness to go there, or whether it was she thought she had no other choice in the situation, given the situation. Again, we don't know. We need to get to the bottom of this, part of the investigation.
Like I
The
said,
last one was there are claims that yourself and the senator held guns at Ursula Leichenberg in order for her to delete footage she had filmed on the island.
Okay, well, never had a gun out to her at all, actually. That's the first point. Second point is we pulled Ursula aside because prior to the war, she wanted to come with us, and I said, no, you're not coming. I don't want more people to get hurt. Only government officials and PD, EMS, and DOC. She still snuck out, went to the island before anything started, starting film on their perspective. So at that point, she just committed treason. The senator was not very happy with her. He was very heated, and he wanted something to be done. And all of a sudden, he asked her, where's the footage of what has been going on? She mentioned something about uploading to the cloud, meaning that it's secured. It's up there. It's already been uploaded. And I told the senator that doing anything to anybody right now not only is wrong, but enough people have bled, enough people have shed blood during this battlefield. She has committed treason, but she was trying to spread the perspective of this war. She was trying to give the public that perspective that they wouldn't be privy to if nobody filmed it. So that's why I was trying to convince them that doing anything to Ursula would be bad. And we let her go. We want her dead, but we let her go.
Wait. Did either you or the senator shoot at or near Ursula?
The senator shot in her direction above her.
Jesus Christ.
Just scared her. Before he did that, he asked me, do you trust me? I said, I trust you. I just fought a war with the fella, right? So at that point, I was high on adrenaline. I trusted him. And I trusted he wouldn't kill her because I told him that we should not do that. And I told him that it's not a good idea. Nobody should die anymore. Enough is enough. The battle is over. And it seemed like I convinced him from having another person bleed that day.
Is Axel trying to be a hero
Ursa's
here?
alive.
That finishes my list.
Hopefully, you know, I know the Senate's got like a lot of power, and hopefully I don't get like sniped in the head for this, but I think the Senator's a bad guy.
Absolutely. And one person having absolute power corrupts the system.
Yeah,
I
that's
think,
just to make goddamn working.
I think we need. I don't know how to proceed forward when it comes to something like this. This is uncharted territory, along with Saint Queen. We're learning a lot of things as we go, step by step by step. It's just, I don't know how to present it. Who's gonna listen?
Who's the boss of the Senate? The president. We just follow the
Yeah.
chain of command.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to tell y'all. I mean, the second I hear a drone, I'm ready to strap my gun and shoot somebody. Honestly, because
Jesus.
I don't know if I need to talk to a doctor or something, but hearing the sound of a drone for 4 hours straight drove me fucking mad crazy.
It seems like this was a shit show, and I think the Senate. Listen, this is my perspective. The Senate is a bad dude, quite clearly, and he told the PD that they can do whatever they want, and clearly people have used that for their own devices, and I really. The Senate can say whatever he wants, but at the end of the day, High Command decides what kind of people we want in the police department. So
Agreed.
whether
Up
or
to
not
us.
it's up to us, and whatever they did, it's deemed legal by the Senate, is completely irrelevant to whether we want them as police officers or not. And if the Senate wants to get involved in PD employment, then that's another kettle of fish, and we can
Yeah.
come to that.
Yeah, the problem is the chain of command. I mean, I answer to the Senate, right? But they shouldn't try to tell me what I need to do with my police department, my faction of people below me. That's not something they should try to advise me on or tell me what to do. So the way I see it is we handle internally
Yeah.
as we see fit, because it's about moving in the right direction for the police department.
I will say I spoke to Brian today and I asked him some questions, and I once again got an answer I'm not happy with, which was I asked him, was the EMS ordered to go, with a bomb down into there? And I think it was a different question to that, but essentially he said, I can't tell you anything. The Senate has told me not to. So we need to deal with that, sooner rather than later, please. Because
Yeah, I mean, you should probably contact him with a date to set up a panel, bring him in, bring all of us down.
right, and should Brian go into the panel, and when we ask him questions, he said the Senate has ordered me not to.
That's not fine. That's not fine. And then if he says that, then he's fired. He's fired right on the spot, honestly. If he's not even open his mouth and tell us exactly what happened, be fully transparent about it, then he should not have a job in the PD.
I agree. In addition to that, I asked him to mark a replacement as the head of, the director of the MCU while he's suspended, and he has said that that's going to be Senator Davis.
Yeah,
That's ridiculous.
I don't know what he's smoking, honestly.
Yeah, that's insane.
Ignore that.
Yeah.
I think we should give it to one of the people from MC who are working their ass off right now.
Hey, you've got the supervisors like what?
He
Aurora,
has-
Deo, Anita.
Yeah, he's.
Bobby.
I checked with Aurora. Apparently, Brian's given it to Aurora in the meantime. She's not a supervisor. She's just a detective, so it does skip chain of commands. But I'll leave that with. I don't know what you guys want to do about that.
I mean, we should find someone within the MCU that is ready to probably replace the director here. Maybe get somebody ready in that position, just in case something happens. If this panel goes pretty south, I mean, he's going to get fired, and there's going to be a position that has to be filled in.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, so that's what I woke up to today. So there is a lot of people wanting a lot of answers, which I don't think we can really give them right now because I don't think we know all the answers. Has anyone seen Christmas, for example?
I have not.
Yeah, neither have I. Yeah, I don't. I think the main thing. Oh, bison. You mentioned. I went back through emails. You mentioned that there's going to a panel for bison as well. What's that for?
Well, so two things. He was told to not come back after going down. It has been ordered that hey, when
Oh,
you engage in this conflict, once you've been hit, once you're down, injured, taken by EMS, go back to the hospital, get it fully cleared, discharged from medical before you can even come back to combat or get back on duty. And then the second issue I have with it is when he did come back and he overheard what Brian did or said, instead of worrying about the people dying and the officers passed away, it seemed like he was talking to people about it and Mission PD instead. And I had a problem with it. I know that he was concerned. I know he was upset, but there was more important matters in that moment. As far as people have died, bodies had to be transported, than what happened between him and Brian.
I I don't think we can boil that down to a situation between him and Brian when it is a war crime.
Well, I mean, it is morally wrong. I don't think any war crimes have been committed because we don't have said laws against said things. So legally, I don't think it's a war crime, but morally, it's definitely wrong.
I got a question. So if we were in the United Kingdom, for example, someone who abides by the Geneva Convention, and someone had done that, it would be a war crime, right?
1,000%.
Right. So how can we apply the logic that if something is illegal or not illegal in another country, then why should we have any say in it?
Because what's happening in the other country is affecting our country. It's connected.
I mean, so is the war crime that happened in Sanguine.
Right, but how can you say it's a war crime, though? How is it a crime?
I mean, sure, by definition, because we don't have the Geneva
That's the
Convention.
problem. That's the problem. We need things like that to hold people accountable. So if they do something like that, they cannot get away with it, Dark.
Right, but we as a police department are not a court of law, right? So we don't have to punish people based on the law. We can punish them based on our own morals and views.
And I don't disagree with that. That's why I'm saying that firing somebody does not equal throwing them in jail.
Right. No, and I agree. I'm not talking about throwing him in jail, but you know, for the layman, like Bison, no offense, Bison, or to any of us, what that is, 99% of the time is a war crime.
I mean, Bison was there cheering for war crimes, and the senator said at the debrief that, hey, there's no war crimes in San Queen. So it's mind baffling to me that now he cares all of a sudden. I just don't understand it.
But did Bison do any of that stuff?
No, but he was laughing about it. Here's the thing, though, Dark. I don't disagree with your argument, and I'm right there with you. We don't need people to break the law in San Queen to farm here in Los Santos. I'm right there with you. I think we're on the same wavelength when it comes to that. But when people say war crimes, those by definition were not committed. I think moral wrongs or acts that were unmoral were committed on St. Queen Isle, and I definitely agree with that.
No. Okay.
And I want to push for legislation to hold people accountable if something like that does ever happen, so we don't have history repeat itself again and again and again, and people can just get away with it.
Just to clarify, I had this horrible thought earlier. Is it just the senator that's saying that we don't abide by the Geneva Convention? Because what about if he's lying? What about if this guy's just crazy?
Pull up your MGW. Anything you see in there, that's our law. That's our legislation.
No, I know what you mean, but our MDW is not an international tablet. You know what I mean? It's just for Los Santos. Like, I'm sure if you went to the,
Right.
uk.gov.uk and you looked at the laws, you wouldn't see the Geneva Convention.
Yeah, I'm sure if something like that did have an or legislation or laws, I'm sure the DOJ or Crane would have said something by now. No, if there was any legitimate argument behind this as far as pushing for something, I feel like you'd see more of a push for than if there wasn't any, right?
I get what you're saying, but I guess everything's coming from Davis. So that's all I'm
was leading the
concerned about.
charge in the villa, so I mean, it makes a lot of sense. And times like this is where we have to learn from it, because the city was not ready for this. The PD was not supposed to be part of this, and we got dragged into it by the Senate.
No, I agree, but that's happened now, and we've got to deal with what's left, really.
Yeah, and that's why I'm trying to heal the divide here in the PD. I'm trying to talk to people. I've been talking to a lot of officers. I've been at prison helping out with DOC, so they're not overran. I'm trying to do my part. I also want to release, if we look in high command chat, I want to release that as a press release to LSBN News. I want y'all's thoughts on it before I do so. It's all in there.
And then by Bundy.
Those firearms, it doesn't say what the actual gun is, just the serial.
Yeah.
Just projectiles and casings from guns that were used, but you don't have the gun.
I don't think we got all of them.
I requested access on the second one.
Yeah, you'll get it shortly.
Any question? Axel,
Yeah.
I think from this conversation we've all agreed that the Senate has gone too far. Would you publicly ostracize the decision to send an EMS into that basement with C4?
What do you mean by that exactly, Dark?
If that's how you feel, and you are the PD right now, you are the face of the PD, why don't you say that in the announcement?
I already said it in the press release, in the information release with there. Did you not read it?
No, that got removed.
No, as far as what happened with the EMS and Walter. It should be at the end.
I saw about the false flagging.
I mean, if you want me to walk up to the center...
as allegations of the violation of... Okay, yeah, that's very... Okay, yeah, that's... I think, I'll be honest, we need to really make a stand here and say the PD, the Unified Police Department, does not support the use of medics as, you know, weapons in war when it comes to the bomb and everything like that.
Can you phrase that a little bit better and add it to my press release? And I'll put my name on it.
To clarify, you're comfortable going against the Senate here?
Absolutely. What's going to happen? I'll lose my job. I'll go on a vacation.
Okay. I'll get something written up.
I'm not scared of nobody, Dark. Nobody. I'm here to just do the right thing and try to make sure that we move forward. That's all I want. Because I want this place to be a peaceful city, not one run by terrorists and mass murderers that will shake it to its core every month or so.
Okay. It's a good first step, I think. It's a good first step. Yeah, I think someone then needs to grab Christmas when they see him. I think we do the same thing as we did with Brian. Suspend Christmas until the panel. Stubble, any thoughts here? He said
I don't really
fucking...
follow what the fuck happened with Bison, but I don't. Why do we need a panel if get a gun pointed at him?
Like I said, we talked to Brian, though, right? We only got one side of the story.
So why does Bison need a panel?
Not for that.
Bison needs a I don't know. The still being wounded and returning thing. I don't think that's a panel either. I think that's you give the info to Doc and Libby and they deal with it.
I'm okay with that. I mean, I already explained what happened, Dark. So you do it as you please.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I respect your opinion and everything, so, but I'm definitely not gonna punish someone for speaking out against. I'm gonna say it, war crimes.
It's not war crimes, Dark. No war crimes happen in St. Queen Isle.
So if you murder someone in Los Santos, is it murder? Yes. If you murder someone in the UK, is it murder?
Yeah, but is the UK St. Queen Isle?
But
the
it's
laws
still,
against
it's still the
that.
same crime. It's still the same thing. Like the same actions. Just because you call
it's a legal thing, right? It's like, yes, legally they might not have done a war crime that they could get tried for, but they still committed a war crime. It's like, yes, it's legal to murder someone on Sanguine, but if while we were waiting on the aircraft strip or like, you know, the airport, and I walked behind you, Axel, and put one behind your head, and everybody saw me do it, and we were back here, they probably wouldn't trust me as a cop. It might be legal and they'd have no right to press any charges on me. And it's the same with the senator and Brian, right? Like,
and I completely
they can't get legally
agree with
punished
that.
for the bomb, but they could still get punished by us as the Unified Police Department because we might not want that character, because it's the morals that they have that they were willing to go that far, and that they were willing to like use those drugs and dress up like a medic and pretty much give people the false pretense that, hey, look, I'm a medic, and then they put down their guns and they pull out a pistol and they're like, I'm the medic for you, and then shoot them in the head. Right? Like, it's not illegal.
We're all on the same
but
page
it's still
as
wrong.
far as that. Yeah, I mean, I feel the same way. Just because you can get away with it doesn't mean makes it right. Because it's just because
keep saying that, but then he doesn't
right, not
agree
wrong,
yet.
or just because you can get away with it in San Queen and it's illegal in Los Santos doesn't mean you can come back to Los Santos and be washed away all that dishonor you committed on San Queen.
No, I gave that bomb to Brian. I gave it to Brian. It was one that we had that we were able to rewire, and I gave it to Brian in the MCU for when we assaulted the manor in Phase 3, so that we could blow up the walls of the manor and enter the manor.
That's what we did. I'm pretty sure the last bomb made was crafted within that bench.
No, it was bombs that we had from like the Simones or some shit that we rewired, and we had 3 of those bombs. One was used to take out the AA by MCU at the start. 2 was given to Lucian Evo to do a secret plan with the Independables, where they were going to go behind and detonate the bomb. and then 3 was the one that I gave to Brian to also blow up like the front of the manor so we could push through the gates.
Oh, are you saying the bomb that was on the EMS?
Yeah,
Oh, yes. Yeah, you're
the
correct
bomb
about
that Brian had. I gave it to him.
I thought you talking about the bomb that blew up the entire bench. My apologies.
No, I read the thing. Brian made it.
On that note, the bomb was still on the EMS while she was in the ICU.
That is a joke. I don't know how. I don't know what the fuck happened. I wish fucking Jaeger didn't bite me in the goddamn neck and almost shook my fucking throat.
What if the bomb went off in the hospital with every single officer in there?
It's reckless.
I was in there.
Bro,
Still stuck under a
I
vest.
was in there too as well.
I was Velsing and Hannaford and Philomena and tens of other officers. Toro.
To
That's a
add
big
fuel to
fuck
the
up.
fire, I'm
Uh,
gonna ask a question here. Do you guys know who Veronica Mars's partner is currently? Yeah.
Nicholas Simone has already been fully debriefed
Yeah.
and everything.
Ooh, that's bad for business.
Yeah. We're gonna have a lot of enemies. We also got enemies in the DOJ as well too, and seem like people are picking sides right now. That's why we're gonna try to heal the divide, right? And try to focus on doing this right. Even though that sometimes truth can be a hard pill for a lot of people to swallow, but it's much needed to move forward. It's needed to heal so we can pass this.
It's not gonna be that easy. It's definitely not. I mean,
That's why we're gonna
You
step
know.
up, right?
sure. That we've really got to get the trust back from PD. I mean, listen, since the restructure, we had something pretty good going on with the public. You know, we didn't have cops running around doing crazy corrupt shit anymore. It was pretty decent. The only problems we were having was with gangs, and unfortunately, over the past 7 days or so since the Sanguine situation, that's all down the drain. So there's a lot of work to be done to get that back.
Yeah, I mean the problem, honestly, when I first came here, my first 2 days, nobody trusted the PD.
Oh my God,
Everybody
I
shot in the
forget- I
PD. People were rocketing the police department. Explosives were going on dark. We were going through it here in Los Santos.
Why did he say that?
That was my first 2 days.
Yeah.
The whole city is just designed to just pin against each other. And even though sometimes we're in the trust of some public people, there's so many people out there trying to make us our enemy because they see us as opposition due to the fact they want to commit crimes all the time.
Actually, I'm going to ask you a really direct question, and I hope you can answer this honestly.
Yeah. Far away.
When Divine, when he was leaked as the undercover operative, is it accurate that you and Brian were seriously discussing murdering Johnny Divine to prevent any more leaks from the PD?
We were joking about it. Nothing serious. That's how I saw it. Everybody was freaking the fuck out over nothing.
Oh my God.
That's not a funny joke.
It's not, but the man had a lot of intel that would have got a lot of people killed. And we were just thinking of ideas to get him back safely. I mean, we went to the island. I stepped foot on the island to get him back safely. We told him, listen, come with us. Let's have a conversation. The man has been compromised. He's turned into a cannibal. He's lost any ability to see any stability. His mind is not there anymore. He lashed out at me. He was going crazy. And I still tried peace with him. I still tried to, hey, come on, let's come back to Los
believe
Santos.
this is
Let's deal with it the right
happening.
way. We talked to Jaeger at the time, tell him, Let him go. Let's stick to Vine. We can go separate ways. It doesn't have to end this way. We were told to fuck off and leave, and we had nothing to do with it. So for our safety, we fell back, and that's when we started the discussion with the Senate.
Jesus.
I don't know what to say. I don't know what Doc would say
You can judge
about
me all you
that.
want from my conversation that time, but my heart is in the right place. I'm not here to flex my powers on anybody. I'm not here to be a corrupt commissioner who can get away with whatever he wants, even though people have the reservation without even talking to me. There's people that even haven't had this simple conversation to know my perspective as far as what happened. Yeah, I get grouped up with everybody else. I get grouped up that I'm part of the equation when I'm out here trying to make sure that we do the right thing. I'm out here trying to we navigate through all this bullshit that this city was not ready for. But people want to crucify somebody because it's easier to put the blame on few people and say it's their fault.
Oh, no.
I just want to fix problems so we can go into
This is fucked.
direction where we're very proud of this police department. We look back and say, man, that was one hell of an uphill battle, and we got through it. Through thick and thin, we got through it together. That's what I want.
Okay. I've got a suggestion. I'll start it with a question. Axel, I'm assuming you want the PD to be held accountable for their actions. Is that right?
Absolutely. I
Okay.
wouldn't say the police department. It would be the people that have committed
Sure.
the more wrong things, right? Because to place it on the PD is not fair. Because it was not PD's war to fight in the first place.
Okay. Then I think we have the panel for Brian. We have the panel for Christmas. And I'm suggesting we have a panel for you, so.
Sure. Well, what panel will that be for, Dark?
The actions regarding the negotiations around with Sanguine, your jokes about murdering an ex-police officer, your participation in the events which occurred on Sanguine. This is just a trial to, it'll be a panel to go through any accusations that anybody might have, where you can openly answer honestly and truthfully questions that may be provided by high command or command, and and then we can decide on an outcome.
Oh,
As
I
high
love
command.
this so much. I love this so much. Go ahead, Dark. I can't wait to show up to that day. It's a big glorious day for me.
Listen, I'm not accusing you of any
yes,
wrong.
you are. Yes, you are. Yes, you are, Dark. That's what you're doing. If you're gonna come swinging at me, I can swing right back at you.
I'm not swinging at you, sir. I'm just merely, there's been accusations thrown your way, and so I'm trying
to
to
panel for something you can ask me right now, Dark. Come on, ask me whatever you want.
There's only two members of high command here.
Right. So what is your vote? You got the whole entire context. What is it?
I don't feel I have the entire context.
So what are you missing, Dark?
There was others present when you were joking about this event with Divine. Is that right?
Yeah. In fact, Bundy had his sniper out already too.
Right.
Jesus.
So then we could have witnesses present for the hearing. Listen, I'm looking for due process.
What are you gonna charge me with, Dark?
This is no, sir. I think you're misunderstanding. This is like in a similar vein to how we would ask Brian questions about the things that we might fire him for. Then we can ask you the same questions. You know, not the same question, but in a similar
Right,
vein.
so
It's just-
what are you, the joke police now, Dirk? Should we fire half our police department? Because I hear a lot of jokes about killing people all the time. Is that what you want to do?
Don't focus on the jokes. So that don't focus on that.
That
Obviously,
seems your main concern, though, Dark. What else you got going on? Because I was there protecting people. I was there making sure that lives were saved. You think I was there wiping my fucking ass?
Nobody has insinuated that at all. So
So
I'm
what are you trying
merely.
to say? What are you trying
Listen.
to say then, Dark? Just come out with
There-
it. Just say it.
I have
Say it.
I have came out with it. There are accusations that have been brought forward about you, including but not limited to threatening to kill Johnny Devine, pointing a
Yeah,
firearm at Ursula Leichenberg.
I didn't shoot
Right.
anybody. That was not me. Go talk to the senator if you have a problem with it. See how all the tax is trying to bring to me, Dark, have nothing to do with me. In fact, I'm the reason those people are alive in the first place. I'm the reason
I'm
they're
not,
trying to move
I'm
forward.
not attacking you, so I don't necessarily believe these things. You're not understanding. I don't necessarily believe them. That's why we're having a panel. If you're not willing to do that, then that's that's on you. If you don't want to have that panel, that's fine. But if you want a PD that's held accountable, this is a step in the right direction.
And what did I say, Dark? Have the panel.
Okay. All right. We'll organize it after the others.
All right, perfect.
All right. That's
Any more
fantastic.
questions for me?
No, I'll save them for the panel.
Okay. Well, since I am your superior, I can order you to do this, Dark.
Sure. What do you need, sir?
Give me a hug.
No. If we're going to get into the habit of ordering our subordinates to touch people, then no.
You don't believe in peace?
I'll give you a handshake if you want, so.
You're not a hugger?
No, not really. I'm married.
Okay. And shake my hand. I trust you to be an honorable man, man of integrity, that is a truth seeker and that focuses on the truth and is objective to it. I don't fault you for what you're doing, nor I'm upset. And I
Sorry.
do believe that everybody should be held accountable. If this panel is what you think or believe will get that done, then I'm willing to show that I'm open to anything coming my way.
You know, so that's very honorable. And I think you might be the first member of High Command to voluntarily put themselves, up for, assessment. So that's a very honorable thing to do, so.
All right, but if there is false accusations made, and I found out that information is being leaked, there will be major consequences because there's been a lot of information being leaked to people in St. Queen, in the penitentiary. A lot of people have been talking. People have been believing false information on Twitter. We must make sure that we move within integrity. And that's the most important thing.
I completely agree.
Yeah, why did I find out about Brian getting suspended off Twitter?
How the fuck did that get leaked?
I have no idea because I didn't leak it personally. The only person who, well, first of all, no, I'm not going to go down that route. The only person that knew about it was Kiki with EMS, the chief. But obviously, she's a trusted party, and I wouldn't assume that she would leak anything. But she only knew that because she was in the room as I spoke to Brian on the phone. So that, that's, on me, but I don't think Kiki leaked anything. So I'll be honest. The
But
only
don't you think telling Kiki's a bad idea?
I didn't tell Kiki. She heard Kiki, but I mean we trust Kiki, right?
Well, it's not about that. It's just the fact that people are picking sides. Apparently, the doctors or EMS are going at it. People are shifting the blame of somebody. People are making alliances with the people inside the penitentiaries that don't get targeted on the outside. It seems like people are throwing each other to the goddamn sharks. So we got to be careful.
Is it possible that Brian just told somebody?
Maybe, I'm not sure. I don't know how we do that. There's the bounty in his head, though. That wouldn't make any sense.
Here's why. Because here we are, stood in a circle, questioning whether somebody leaked it or whether this person leaked it, and then we're questioning trust in each other. So if he leaks it to the right person, and then we're asking why did we find it out from this person, then we're like, did this person leak it or did this person? When it's probably just Brian.
But how did Kiki find out, though? Right?
Because she was in the room when Brian hadn't got off duty in time, so I called him to say, hey, you know, you got to get off duty because you're suspended. I think that's how it went. I've had a very busy day. Either way, I'll be honest, I don't think it matters. I mean, and what does it show? That we're holding our own accountable and we're looking into things? I don't think that's a problem.
Yeah, but was she supposed to know about that? Or did it just get leaked to her?
Was Kiki supposed to know? I mean, I don't know. Sure, no.
I mean, she knew before I knew.
She shouldn't have done because I emailed everybody straight away. But at the same time,
when I got on duty, I didn't get a chance to look at everything right now. So I got on duty, and then when I got told about it.
But again, I'll ask the question: if we are suspending Brian to look into whether or not he's done bad things, isn't that a good thing?
It is a good thing, but we gotta watch out too as well. We need to make sure we're not throwing people to goddamn sharks, like I said.
No, I agree, but
like I said, I want the guy. I want the guy suspended, but I don't want him dead.
yeah, I don't want EMS dead either, but Brian was very happy to admit to random people at Harmony Mechanics today that she volunteered to go blow up Sanguine people, and apparently went to prison to do the same thing, went and spoke to a bunch of Sanguinians about how the EMS volunteered to go do it, and he had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, what Brian did is wrong. But we also need to make sure that information between all of us is between all of us, Dark.
No, I agree. But that being said,
it cannot be leaked.
I will propose that should these people be fired or anything of the sort, that we put that in a press announcement.
I see your point, because it shows we're holding people accountable. But also, I feel like we're doing the dirty work of those people out there that want them dead.
Oh, I mean, as long as we know that we're doing things for the right reasons, then that should not come into question. Unless you are actively, you know, unless someone has paid the chief to, you know, take out Brian, then that's just not a thing that's happening. We all know that we're doing this for the right reasons, so that shouldn't come into question. Listen, at the end of the day, if we're firing somebody for doing bad things, I won't say war crimes,